So this is an interesting problem, and I had to chuckle a little bit. I had some kids say, "Mr. Rob, I don't golf. This isn't a fair question." But the truth is, you don't need to know anything about golf to answer this question. You know how to add integers, negative and positive. You know what lowest means. You know what total score of each person means. You know what lowest means. You know what this means. It says 3 rounds, and you don't even have to know what a round is to know that this represents 1 round, this represents a second round, and this represents a third round for each person. All of this stuff that's represented up here, it could be pills, it could be dogs and cats, it could be kumquats, it could be food, it could be meals, prices of meals, it could be anything. It doesn't matter as long as you learn to read instructions so that you can understand. It says here there are 4 participants in a golf tournament. 1, 2, 3, 4. Their scores, which are the number of strokes below or above par in 3 rounds, are shown in the following table. Their scores are in the table. Mr. Wallace got a -5, a -1, and then a -2. I don't even need to know what those scores mean to be able to add those numbers together. So don't let the fact that you don't know how to play golf confuse you. You'll run into a lot of problems that you may not know, but you can solve them. In fact, I've had my own father come to me and ask me questions about mathematical questions to help him at work, and I've never done any pattern making before. You can't let the subject matter scare you. It's still just math. All right, so this says who had the lowest score in round 1. Well, this is just a matter of reading a chart. Here's round 1. What's the lowest number? -5, 1, 10, or a -3? It's -5. It's the furthest to the left on the number line. Mr. Wallace had the lowest score. Cool. Find the total score of each person at the end of 3 rounds. Once again, this is about paying attention to reading instructions. A lot of you added all of the scores together, got one number, and you got the question wrong because it says the total score of each person at the end of 3 rounds. Oh, what does that mean? That must mean I need to add all these together. -5 plus a -1 is a -6 plus a -2 is a -8. +1 minus 3 is a -2. Minus 1 is a -3. Oh, Mr. Miller sucks, apparently. No. 10, at golf anyway, plus 2 is 12. Minus 3 is 9. Mrs. Farr, -3 minus 4 is a -7. Plus 5 is a -2. There, I'm done. Total score of each person at the end of their 3 rounds. The lowest score wins. Who won? What number's the lowest? Mr. Wallace. And this is pretty much true to life. I've beaten him once in probably the 40 times that we've gone golfing together. And I don't feel bad about that because I'm getting better at golf every time. And when I compare my score to my last score, it's getting better and better.